Testicle torsion. Abraham cast upon Yensid. Mass-incised butthole removal, Yensid said, echoing and loud.
Oh,
The
wow.
torsion stopped through its counter.
Something
No,
to
not my
put on
ass.
your
I
butt
can't feel a
slide,
thing.
rune Kai
Please,
shield.
I need to go to the bathroom. Already, I think. I'm going to turn into a balloon while eating tacos. Starts inflating. I cast. No beard thus. His beard disappeared. Ha ha ha. An inoperable brain tumor. Oh God, no, stop. He's begging me to stop, said Yensid like a superhero to James. I cast stinky leg, / silly walks, shattered wackling stick. You're going too far. I cast yodeling kidney stone.
Yodeling kidney stone!
He tried to curse him back.
Yo, what's up, new multi-stream people?
I curse you to always be incoherent while talking to women. Where I come from, wizards cast. Your Wi-Fi. Connected, no internet, said James. I cast a minute of constipation. This is too much. I'm uncomfortable. I cast large-handed square prostate exam. I curse you with female mustache. Every day you will remove it, and every day it will grow back. I cast minute of savagery. Abraham started biting nearby pirates in the shoulder. Impotence impetuous. His balls turned into cannonballs. Cruelty is a matter of perspective.
Oh yes, impotence impatience.
Constipated is a matter of perspective.
What?
What? Sabrina addled his mind, weakening him for a combo. Unholy Horizon Sky uppercut. You could hear him getting hit by a punch like a suction, but then he was instantly gone, flying 200 meters per second. Who knows where or when he would land. Up to the Caribbean, maybe. Now it was up to beat the rest of the crew. This is Artis. Leave the rest of the ships to me. Yensid did battle teleportation and appeared quite shocking for first-time analysis of the crew. Ask ground pound. The ship was crunched in 3 seconds into the depths from the middle, pulled under the horizon of the deep blue denizens. Every minute or so, a ship was pulled down. They had not enough magic or steel icebreakers. You can't break this ship, wizard. I am Admiral Locoler the Alcoholer. Indeed, his magic, like steel, held the ship on his concentration. You cannot crunch through the beauty and marble. Your ground pound will be your doom.
Whew.
Yensid powerfully rotated in the air, and with 2 shockwaves landed on Locoler. He dropped his jagged cutlass and went to the floor.
Well, it's because I paid the 30 euros.
his mind and lives not used to the carnage. His shooting Maestar armor was struggling. Its resistance was incredible in something like this, like a promise. Yensid powerfully landed again and said, "Give up? Your machination is forfeit." He struggled, but said nothing. "You can't resist my ground pound, ass magnitude." There was genuine fear as the captain begged for his life, but communicated it poorly. Yensid upped the power and silenced the tide and the sea. Yensid started crunching the planks and metal around like 10,000 kilos. They could not resist around the general. Again, he struck fists clenching power and impossible fate. With power beyond his tier, the power
I
was
have to get a
leveling the
break,
ship
I
in.
think.
The surroundings was not as solid. The shooting Maestar armor fractured slowly and shattered. Like a meteor, Yensid went through and brought the admiral down with his ship. His white eyes were unconscious under the water. His crew was floating on ship beams. James took a
Alright,
breath
well
as he
this one is
dived through the
done.
floor of another ship, beating up every specialized cannoneer.
Drop the Gordon Roses here. Yay.
Sumo slap and sumo collider. He defied physics. Sabrina was playing with fire, fighting many expert pirates. She exerted expanding inferno waves, summoned fire hydras, and critically headshot with
I want to
fireballs.
go back to the farming.
Pirates that tried to resist magic. She ran away to another deck, leaving inferno trails in her wake quickly. One pirate was a half-mage, but she got into his mind and completely blacked him out like a psychologist about maybe working theory. Yensid jumped and ground pounded. His ass crunched being stronger than the material and went through 3 levels of the ship. "Help us. We're Chinese prisoners by the unholy torsion wizard." "We will pay you. Let us out," a desperate voice said behind bars. "Let us in, let us out."
Wow.
Behind, Yensid a cutlass pirate,
Oh,
swung
I'm
a ball
sorry.
and chain. Yensid used his ass like a flashlight, blinding the enemy, then, after charging power, jumped
Yeah, all
and
I said is
flatulence
true.
manifest in his face. Freezing him through freezing his brain. Then with a
It's kind of interesting. I wrote this, right? Wow. You can do something intelligent here. I ate too much stuff, and my blood sugar is peaked. But if I eat this 100% rye, 99% rye gingerbread Finnish ribs, yeah, it's finished, with 17 grams of fiber per 100 grams, he's gonna go back down. Respectable levels or healthy levels.
freezing him through freezing his brain. Then with a practiced swift karate heel kick, kicked his head off.
Let's do it like race neutral.
A half-breed werewolf mage was indeed part of the tough crew, and he
Karate
exited the
kick.
treasure vault. Yensid met Ice Beam on Fire Wave. They spewed and fought. The beam was going
This
back and
doesn't
forth.
help. It's, all you need is a soda zero.
You will bend to my
Especially
bending
on
over
caffeine.
technique. There are no wizards. We fail and lose track. Inspired by James' arm wrestling, Yensid put balls and larger balls into his ice beam, overwhelming the weremage and freezing his arms. Concentrated, slushy blizzard. Yensid made a 1 by 1 meter cube frozen as the ice comet dwarf star, and a mage fell over as an ice cube with legs. Yensid made a 1 by 1 meter cube frozen as the ice comet dwarf star, and a mage fell over as an ice cube with legs. Help Uasis. Don't worry, no physical lock is safe from Yensid. Yensid put his buttocks on the prison door with the pressure, opened it like a cork. Somehow it made a cork sound. They inspected the treasure vault. There was a desk for the captain, maybe, but there were piles of gold, candles, and
50k
gold
XP
cups
per
to the
hour.
roof. It looked like the most secret, expensive room in the Western Sea. Who are you? Said James to the Asians. Have you never seen a prisoner?
I can't
Shoot
I
them
can't hear
across
everything
the
while I'm
Coffee
chewing.
Bean
Let's
Island.
put this in between.
Indeed, they would be shot into Chinese waters. Who knew if it would be helpful? I'm going to clear my head with some traveling, I think, said Yensid. I can take this attack to New Paris headquarters. He put on his magical swim feet that made him stand on water. Then he crouched 90 degrees and farted like a motorboat, skimming a purple fish across the sea. James was feeling as ambitious as only a psychomotor genius can stimulate sensitive neuromuscular system, among other things, like zealous energy breaching limits. Napoleon, I want to uptake making beer and sell. I think I know how to do it already. For the rowdies, those that open their fridge for no reason, and those that can't find their keys. We'll see how this goes with a small month's investment. Prove you can make profit. James thought to really making something unique, not cheap, and something he would drink himself. The taste of beer is fine, but he would like something that completely knocks you out with flavor, like a luxury liver punch, something 10 out of 10. James read ancient text from drunk
Should be one
monks
there.
and
It
illuminating
seems bad,
coffee
but it
bean
should be
Caribbean
one there.
delicacies. There were
Wow,
stories
that's
of
so
gourmand
interesting.
and studies of
That was
wizards.
actually pretty interesting.
Not a library, but scrolls for ancient
But it was
recognition
smart, though.
and purpose.
What?
Yeast consumes the sugar from the broken starch, wanted byproducts.
Yeah,
The
that's right,
combination of
Chad.
hops.
I became an expert at brewing wine and beer and brewing. I read a bunch of guides and absorbed everything like a genius just to write this. I can make some cellar wine and cheese now if I want to. No, not cheese, just beer and it's maybe 3 things. I remember. Whiskey, yeah.
Yeast consumes the sugar from the broken starch.
Basically, the simplest way to put it is there are different kinds of yeast. Hops, barley, and yeast makes a different beer flavor, and you want as expensive as possible for the best flavor, and then you combine intelligently.
Yeast consumes the sugar from the broken starch, wanted byproducts.
Ah!
The combination of hops, barley, and yeast makes the flavor different.
You're still there?
Price, duration, and temperature, percent, and black gull. James decided he wanted to make 1 knockout beer, 1 lemonade, or
Please Twitch, I'm sorry I said anything about group stalkers, but I am just a victim though. I needed better friends, nobody to sell me out.
1 lemonade or chocolate beer, 1 Christmas beer. James went shopping for every yeast, hops, and barley, as expensive as he could dare, while still being a deal. He crunched words with surly-strawed hop sellers and pinched almost secrets from red-faced brewers. They didn't know what he was going to do. Wow, this beer is delicious, he said to the brewer. Wow, this beer is delicious, he said to the brewer. He bought 10 of the best contemporary beers and synthesized what made them thus and would remember it forever. His palate could separate every ingredient and sensation. He learned from legendary monk/biologist Urine Ursel to brew honey wine and champagne. He was fat, sassy, and invented the monk's haircut. He took golden gull and alcohol found on different planes and experimented on way too hot temperatures like with Italian coffee. Direct and make room with the burntness. Dwarves were hard getting anything out of except how the toe of Satan hops grew without sunlight. One threatened him Scottish over kangaroo steak. James was unhappy with the first knockout beer. It tasted like brass, not gold. Let's change half the barley into Shetland Golden Main. This one tasted more pleasant brass, almost non-beer-like. He could pretend this was the best beer. Scottish Wizard's Blood Leech, yeast, was substituted. Fine beer it made. Gulp it was until 3 days. Another batch, he tried blasting the grains with spells spicy and blast chilling with yeast that made a different proprietary alcohol. He called Chateau, he drank.
Chateau.
It knocked him out like making him
That's strong.
smarter and wiser knockout, a suggestive kiss. Like clouds and whipped cream. The price was 2.5 quid to make, about 2 times more expensive than normal alcohol. The student is out of the making laws district, said Napoleon. I have before you beer, said disciple, drink golden. This is going to sell, man. Sell it for 3 quid. Call it James Knockout. What's the percentage? 1.7%. This might be a problem. Let's hope people get drunk enough. You can drink more of this made with pleasant Chateau. Chapter, hungover. James tried adding cocoa powder and half brown sugar into his leech, unsuccessful beer. It had paved the red-faced way. Had to taste a bit chalky and flat. More insane James thought to add browned fat hen, gourmand coffee beans, and a diabolical, sinful mix 8.5 out of 10. James always got drunk on Christmas beer, or even higher percentage German Bock beer during this. Prost, you can't drink many. He infused Hell's habanero hops with pressure cooking and just barley he knew would work from other beer. Instant success. James, 3 delicacy beers. Maybe I should sell them 3 by 3. Things would go prosperous for James Napoleon Caffeinated Industries. They made bigger batches, counting the dollar, and took out a large margin with the delicacy beer. They competed with English super solid pints. Dwarves drinking dark dwarf stuff. Dwarf Guinness was a trustworthy staple. French mannerless combat and fencing masters, who were allergic to grapevines, made unaccessible wine, and Chinese Mijiu beer and Shaoxing wine. Chapter, Doubt and Debt. A drunk spy managed to remember. Napoleon, Chinese Maotai Baiju Industries, just moved their delicious storage uncompartmentalized. Even the new cherry soda cider. I know where. I have a credible source. You can always trust dishonest people to be dishonest. Wizard, Yensid, Napoleon, James, and 10 honest pirates edged across the dark docks. The darkness told them dark insanity, not to trust like fear over futility. It smelled like dirt and cement too. In here, the spy mentioned a guard over documents and swindle room. I will take him out silently. They came to a door with a grate. They saw the guard neck. Yensid jumped and sucked his ass to the door. With an incredible suction, he stuck the guard neck to the grate. Arg, oh my god. The guard started screaming. Eventually, Yensid started screaming too. Crunch asterisk. Yensid had broken the neck of the guard. Unchivalrous, they snuck to the strong lager were opened with giant doors. Stood the Chinese inventory, shelf after shelf. Take this anti-poison, scaly potato cactus. We have as many as you need. If you drink too much, I can suck the alcohol out of your blood and turn into blood pearl dust. They opened bottle, cannon leg, armed with capsule opener and cork machine. This is delicious, said James, drinking cherry and blackcurrant cider. He felt modernly Asian. I don't know how they drink the wine tonic, said Napoleon. Brit, Belfast isn't that bad. He felt insulted. It's terrible alcohol, though. 5 hours later, they sat on rough equipment in a circle, drinking the last wine bottles, straight from the bottle. With Yensid dissolving their alcohol, they had drunk the entire inventory. Kenon Riesling, very interesting. Finally, I can afford every recommended delicacy wine. They were right. To piracy. Pilfer and borrow forever. Take what we can. Give nothing to charity. May the best country conquer the islands. To the Chinese, they left a card from Tea and Coffee Industries, Mingbakken. Thanks for the inventory. It was delicious. Napoleon and James felt just as good, productive returning. We need to make a commercial. We can't film anything in 1001. What? Filming with about a potato. That'll work. Do you think we should change name to Underbite Assertiveness Industries? Strategic hip replacement. Chapter The Last Yodeling of Fate. Darn, that's the banker Hershekel that's going to sponsor British tea/coffee heroes? Not all heroes wear capes, some wear lederhosen, said Napoleon. Despite having a cigarette in his mouth, he was yodeling, like hypnotizing. He picked up speed impossible as his bowler hat shined from greed. Be careful, James. They say he's so greedy he can transform into a dragon. After applause, hysteric the INTP, showing their most intolerant side, yet still auxiliary, like them engaging in a groups ready to give up, edged over to Napoleon. His intent was like a predator. His steps told a dangerous story. I see you, Napoleon. You don't like that I have been sponsoring the British? The corporations will be a British/German mix. These are my partners. Now you are done. I won the last chess game and territory of Fitzgerald. He knew he was unbeatable pretty much before gloating. You can't beat the caffeine addiction with German engineering. I'm going to show you how to eat your bowler hat. I will surge quarterly prospecting with British Expo. Shekel is going to fart confetti, so tomorrow we die alive, James. That curls my toes. No, I'm not. Napoleon Industries ended up brewing wine too, and James had room in his brain for this without even creating a break. Vineyards they had bought from Shooting Count in a culverin had Pinot Noir, one of the best Winnegrops they mixed with their own. James realizes any fruit can be made into wine, can mix in concentrations of other fruit. The Yentp realizes the value of an idea, or the future the best feels like intuitive talent. It's just some acidic sugar water for yeast to grow in. Yeast will expand, but air causes stale, oxidized wine. Degas the wine, clarify with white night clay. Once again, the best soil, yeast, grapes, and sugar, and the combination of thus makes the best wine. Crushing the fruit yourself makes for better taste than crushing fruit yourself for juice. He would spend to hope rich people would. He knew some people favorably drink cheaper wine by the cent different, counting the dollar over noticing the taste. James tried watermelon wine, blueberry and strawberry blueberry lime. Let's try brown sugar, sucrose boiled into fructose and glucose, and even honey, red star montrachet, or champagne yeast. He had to try apple and mango wine. Everyone knows what their food is worth at a restaurant, but drinking the audaciously expensive wine glass, no idea this is how modern high-class restaurant profit is made. Inspired James would sell his blueberry and mango wine as something dandy and exclusive, take out a confusing margin.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
sweetened
cheating.
his
No shitty
blueberry
cheese.
wine. It has a lot of flavor. He knew the best-selling wine here tasted like 50% juice. The sourest watermelon wine, he thought to switch honey as the sugar the yeast ate, it made sense. And when tasting, he could also taste the sensibleness, but other things had happened too, like unwanted guests coming to drink your wine. James were thinking intelligently, possibly backwards. Wow, if I get the cheapest hops I have, Wrong bittermint barley and inconsiderate champagne yeast, I can make piss beer. He made a small batch, insanely pretty much, and summoned Arnaud with a telephone like personal pinch of blue cannon powder. Also for tasty testing. Wow, this tastes like piss. I'd drink this. Arnaud. I would have cried gourmand wine tears. Rye tears. James was working, thinking about making a new, stronger beer. James' real knockout. Napoleon enters. Here's a bonus, mate, for making our quarterly prospecting go up 20%. It's a proper key. It's a pocket dimension. For your wine, you can cultivate purple flowers and eat for chemistry and magical ability. I planted a meatball stalk and a giant nutritious 80%.
Wouldn't it be fun if you had a tattoo like in Chinese letters? People think it's so cool, and actually you made it say to suck your own dick is harder than sucking someone other's dick, someone else's dick. That's wise words. Oh. In a non-racist way. I mean, it doesn't even have to be Chinese, right? It can just be Korean or Japanese or... I've learned a little bit of sign language, now I understand. Every sign has a few meanings and combined with things. That's how the keyboards where you click on K and then you click on 4 things associated with the keyboard. Yeah. In this mathematical times way, this exponential way, you can increase something with yeah, that's exactly it. If it's 5 letters per button extra, it's exponential 5 to whatever number the keyboard has, right? If you do it again, again,
It's a pocket dimension. For your wine, you can cultivate purple flowers and eat for chemistry and magical ability. I planted a meatball stalk and a giant nutritious 80% protein mushroom. I was going to buy a key into the dimension of sleek, feminine, huge-breasted women. They're all interested in you and will buy you a drink, but they are all half monsters of different animals. Medusa farts turns people to stone as well. James opened and saw a huge magical garden. Like a greenhouse, it was stuck to the ceiling with Pinot Noir grapevines, watermelons vertical on stalks growing or horizontal. A pocket sun in the pocket paradise was a little bit away from everything in the middle. The gravity pulled in his stomach, like suggestive. Yellow and black carrots, black garlic, wizard's garlic. It was strong like a gnome biting your tongue. The place was circular in glass with a waterfall, nipple-pinching pink crabs, and a 20-meter cliff, circulating with quail birds and eggs. Golden beet bushes, lemons, sour grapes, a mango tree, healthiest algaes, inconsiderably more choking ivy, pomegranates, pineapple with an explosive taste, purple pineapple with the same antioxidants as blueberries. The antioxidant is the color whiskey on a faucet. Many different kinds of bananas grew. Some grew like a model's hair on the side over a sideways palm. It's sous vegan, he said to the white mushroom. Around the waterfall, there was a giant lily pad water garden. You could have a Swedish fika and cookies tall sitting on white marble chairs. Designer table on the at least 1M lily pads. He invited Arnaud, Napoleon, Sabrina thus. I welcome you to Lily Florence. The waterfall could be heard rumbling between them. I have before you Swedish vacuum cleaners. They're like princess cake rolled like cigars. Delicacy shop explained. Chocolate balls with coffee flavor and lemon liquor. Raw food balls, Swedish mead, and some Italian whiskey I hamster bagged earlier. The vacuum cleaners were weird to the touch and spoke of sugar and things too sweet and less royalty, like a cough of syrup. The Walter cabin was rectangular with the bottom corners being more narrow. Sabrina walked clumsily like she would set things on fire, and Arnaud tested too, intentionally. This should hold for your thickest actions, Arnaud. What do you mean? He said, confused. Look at that cute red flower, said Sabrina. I've been working on being a witch, making cauldron tea and fire-infused progress. Maybe hell can teach me for free if I pretend to work there. Abusing the state of free education. There's a technique to that, said Arnaud. Finally, something I'm competent in. I graduated in practical tools, benefits, 3 times. It took 2 months. It was 5, James said, excited. I have also been trying to pull all the purple-green plant hybrids or monsters, the vegan golems, you could say, out of the earth. Maybe you should train to become an albatross. That sounds like a good idea, said Arnaud. Who knows what he thought? Sabrina used a lily pad to climb the waterfall with magic, then hunted quail. She ate them with feathers and everything. Pay attention, Sabrina. I'm about to say something important. She turned her head like contained, basically, with a quail, sticking out feet first in her mouth. They say what you drink is of essence in a Swedish fika. Let's drink whiskey, then. Aye. This Swedish fika is very good. James thought to install some rabbits, 1 every 2 square meters, to extend his dimension concavely. They were tolerating each other's population like humans. They were golden in the paradise, peaceful and sentinels of nature's balance. He had installed a butter seal from winning 10 out of 10 matches at Surly Boots thus, and it had a baby seal. These seals are fine with humans, biting back as predators if necessary, bouncing through, and on not having humans as predators. The baby seal was gray and white, curious like a fat cat. Thus Mother was concerned with what the unknown could do. James pushed the limits feeding and petting, showing them to the rabbits. James picked up some psychic, being up during the night reading as a genius night-owl.
Oh, they're fat like me.
Someone is ruining my precious stuff, like hurting my loved ones. There was spies and pirates opening the vault of 1,000 doors into Napoleon's list of secrets. James, in a sexy bathrobe, uses martial arts and ass-kicking. They're getting rounded up like turtles beaching in a small zoo. Don't beat me up, man. You're already dead. He pointed a finger. I'll spill the beans, aristocrat. Fitzgerald has taken an interest in you and wants you gone. He's going to beat me up more than you if he finds out we failed. He has conquered every enemy and embarrassed them like a torturer flays skin. You're next, and he will have a plan and secrets you won't beat. Thanks for the cowardly heads up. You'll eat my weakest attack. James slapped him in the face. He went spinning, knocked out 4 times before hitting the ground. James had begun to find a cure for burnout, mixturing with potions. I must just find my stride. There is such potential in what increases attention span. What increases energy must cure burnout, mitochondria cells manufacturing. He tested them on pirate Turpentine Thomas, who had no sense when to stop. You're not a man productive unless you push over your limits. He went through and mixed every brain booster. It cured him of attention difficulties and bipolarity instead. He came up with a booster that made you not feel fatigued thus. James was browsing wares in Pirate, Port Rotten, sneering Slug Henry. It's time for you to get a proper giant 2-handed sword like a German mercenary, a Flamberge or Zweihander, said Arnaud. This is too heavy. Technically, it's medium weight. People keep their distance as long as you swing anyway. Magically get a shorter grip. There was a winged Flamberge, gem teal, and artsy golden circles dotted amongst feathers and uneven detail. It was almost 2 meters. You will see that it speeds up, smooth hitting several targets, and after killing. One of my best swords, truly, it glows teal and will block magical projectiles if you hit the blade. The other one you could look at is Ripsaw. We also have Parrot Annihilator on sale. You won't find an axe more trustworthy.
What? What the
What is
fuck?
a parrot except put into a cannon? There are the penniless corsairs, no doubt. Flying the black flag. Dollars and cents. There was a pirate with a wide face and tired eyes, sulking about his better times. He seemed a chapter behind, like too fat and too unchivalrous.
This is S, so I'm not gonna go for
Do you want
that.
to join the crew? What are you considering? What territories are you up to? His pals seemed focused on their creed, their status, and tolerant. You seem to be chilling, good man. There is plunder on tactical enemies for mutual savagery. If you want to reconcile like a pirate, you need to drink like a pirate. Here's a stamp, Honest Jimmy's pirate bar crawl. Shoot a pistol in the air to agree. Cablum.
Oh, what are you listening to? I'm listening to people falling down the stairs ASMR.
Cablum. It seemed like he had hit an eagle. James thought to pick Sabrina Arnault, and maybe Oliveria on this. 11 destinations, Sigmund's near Lethal Martini, said Arnault, like frightened, yet nervously ready. It's time to become double penniless thus. I don't know if I can do this, said Sabrina, concerned in her emotional world like not a contender. I love your company. We love your company, said Arnault, starting a second after James. They made it to the penniless collective Islands, where they met Cuban-speaking gentlemen in a charming bar made of bamboo and hay. Can I please have one of your off-the-menu drinks, mango rum strawberry? It's on the menu thus. This should be a cocktail anywhere, you wait and see. He didn't believe him. It's sweet, but there's alcohol like a swing. Makes more sense than Canadian Caesar drink. It has vodka, clamato, hot sauce, and Worcestershire sauce. I can pronounce that Worcestershire. It's just Worcester, actually, like Leicester is just Leicester. You can learn to say many things, languages with exceptions. Arnault didn't believe James very much at first. They should just have the pronunciation on the bottle. They got the whole world saying Worcestershire. There's Welsh City, Landfair, Pol Gwaingil, Gogerich, Werndrobel, Lenisilio Gagot, said English James thus. Who needs to pronounce anything like how they spell, said Sabrina. I am lightweight thus, I'm shaky. Rum makes me happy.
Stupid eating.
You are muscular like a gym enthusiast.
I love how
Muscle
I
is
wrote
not
that.
fat.
I'm getting tired.
You seem concerned with things out of place. I shall sign your card of bars of bars.
My spelling is very good, actually.
The second drink...
I do make mistakes, everyone else. They're pretty funny, but I think I'm very good at...
The second drink already spelled trouble. Are you kidding? It's Canadian Caesar? The party felt like fate stabbing too soon and proper. I don't want clam and tomato juice.
Yeah, you do. Shut up.
Don't worry, it makes perfect sense, said the Canadian French barman. Just try it. They downed the drink and thought about the ingredients like grenades. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, said Arnault.
I think
I'm going to throw up, said James.
Gonna throw up, eh?
You're going to throw up, E? said the barkeep. This was a strike, belligerent and dangerous, broken, omniscient. My body is telling me to stop here. There's the world spinning like I have no handle and safety, said Sabrina. You are very good at describing like inner world of intuition and feeling. I believe you quicker thus than you put effort. That's 2 bars out of 11. This will be more than just bar crawling. This is going to test us as men and Sabrina's huge eyebrows. I had an idea to go to every major pub in London, one at a time.
No.
They went to a fancy black and white place like Futuristic or Cosmopolitan. It was a club for the high-class pirates, like the capitalists who didn't just steal from people, but also each other. They seemed to be treated great, like high-class, missing some things and expecting you to only be cryptic, not being especially impressionable or intelligent. Mentioning how things are spiffy. The man had the greatest mustache, truly fashionable, 2 black giant stripes perfectly curved upwards, expensive suit, short, oily haircut. We have a minimalistic corn barbecue, he said, like effortlessly.
Corn barbecue.
They had to each imbibe the near-lethal martini, which was dry, like paper, but flavorful, thus refreshing, a little bit fruity, like it was a new kind of fruit. I've had worse. It was a double. Time to toughen up, said Sabrina.
The double was a
My
double.
throat, dried up like dry cleaning service. I can see you gentlemen are in the honest Jimmy's parlor. I get people now and then. Enough for me to forget about it, to unadapt despite making a mental note. Some things we wait for only outside our reach. You are wise, Mr. Three Grogs Down. We must be wise and mature with what life makes us waiting. We wait and wait. The lonely waits. The victim waits for a good life. The patient get revenge. We wait for friends and crushes, ever forgetting the merriest. Populated bunch are the lonely. Normal married people, their easy problems and their happiness make me sick, said Arnaud. Why should they be happy? I'm not sure what to make of this, said James. There was a workers' bar, but there were no benefits in sight. It smelled like piss, brought down and colored of boring landscapes. The office blue-collared sucker punch. The office blue-collared sucker punch.
It's just based on a bar I've been to.
Yes, you punch the collar, not the other way around. You explain that every time, don't you? I don't see the problem. It was an overweight, which, looking at least in the face, audacious barmaid. She was rather rectangular despite being a hut. The problem is the name. You shouldn't have to do extra. What if the charm is explaining, like a name when you tell a story?
Free 100K.
There was an Irish coffee and a fat, whipped cream tasting cider. They stood uniquely silent, hands on drinks.
Pick up the...
This whiskey is terrible, said thus James.
No.
Shut up, said Arnaud. I'm afraid there won't be any red wine. I have memorized each alcohol I have drunk. Why did you become a penniless corsair? How lucrative are these guys? I was blown here by English winds. I was used to being an English cook. God, our food is awful compared to French, Italian, Spanish cuisine. Oh, look, these 4 countries are all sewn together. Somehow we have carved out a fine dining niche. I still love the English pea and meat pie. A pie is hard to make, can't be dry, needs meaty yet refined flavors. It needs to be balanced, like falling apart. You need experience, you need taste buds, you need to fail. You need to be a hardworking family feeder. You need to have tasted a good pie, meaning superior, said Sabrina, always having something to add. I was part of a vegan conspiracy entering a pie competition, knowing that we would clap the competition and win. You can't do that, that's disrespectful. Why do people say this? Vegan pies are really good, actually, said Sabrina,
what is he doing?
And the crust tasting more like oatmeal. Who knows where Arnaud was intoxicated. He was surprised by people and amazed how people in society worked. This should have been the stopping block for him.
Reselling his RNG.
Sabrina was still elegant. James was crunching numbers hard. The next one on the list says, ominous draft. I'm fine with drinking this, said Arnaud. He wasn't really. Westernized like Noodle Bacon Gulch, they came into dry land. Leave your weapons with the coat hanging, said a surly person. If you've seen M, you play M. There was murderous intent and white jeans, cowboy pirates. It seemed like no one actually left all their weapons at the entrance. I'm going to blow off your head if you keep being sour. Guess from 1 to 10 how much I'm going to miss. Thus, Gulch isn't big enough for the 2 of us. I feel like I need to show off
I'll
my
put the picture up with my feet later and ball it into the right.
Exercise mercy and patience, Arnaud. Claim a monster or a beast. There's a kept baguette for every whack, he said.
For the environment.
Outside were pirates fencing to death instead.
Is this interesting? You know, just do all kinds of environmental stuff because you should. I mean, I could enjoy it more. Saving the environment is just the collective's responsibility, just it is the individual. You mustn't complain when you have to do things for the environment, right? The fact that there won't be anything for our children seems to be really not getting through to people. Just like an analyst said, 50 exponential to 50 equals something, equals X. We have failed to fix the environment, people. It's too late in some ways already. And it wasn't even close. Mostly it's actually statistically the 100 biggest corporations' fault. The responsibility to the environment was not met with like either some kind of collective group for them together where they each have to stop 20% of whatever, right? We need a world government maybe. We still do need these things. I'm part of the generation that just didn't solve the problem. We had one shot, and now with all the things going underwater countries and stuff, it's gonna be so many environmental refugees. We have to build a whole other country up again. It's gonna cost us more than what we gained from the oil. Only a few people will have gained money from the oil, and the rest will pay. Think about that. And the best thing you can do is stop eating meat. If I was a politician, I would force people 2 or 3 days per week you can't eat meat, and for the environment, and people would be so pissed. And I would enjoy it, you know. Oh, you're gonna tell me it's your right to eat meat, to kill people, and yeah, I could take it and I would enjoy it.
Outside were pirates fencing to death instead of in a Mexican standoff.
51% of the amount of environmental destruction comes from the meat industry. Yeah,
Outside were
that's not even
pirates
counting the pliable lands we turn into the deserts, right? I don't think so. Anyway,
Outside were pirates fencing to death instead of in a Mexican standoff. Why do they call it ominous draft? Arnaud said
I don't feel
this
like
was the
going up
perfect
yet.
wrong thing to say. James wondered why people couldn't just keep it normalized. The barman, who was a white mustached goatee, didn't answer. Maybe we need to drink it to figure it out thus. A man drinks the ominous draft and does not question it. He was charming and sweet in his voice. He told you stories or being a man and made you
Now
think to
you're
go in. Men, even intelligent contemporary men, need to go in and out being a proper man to feel good enough, filling stereotypes created maybe for no reason. Intellectually, you could go into being a man, just the positives like working on your better version, to be tougher, to be what a man should be thus. Gay men have the sternest manliness, sometimes perhaps like a secret between men. Arnaud could fill this bar being a Western man, but it was exhausting for long. He didn't just whip it out. The Planner Society keepers, no matter which personality theory you exert, have all these ways of proper filling in physical force and work, in socializing, in being productive. They base their value on how they do on a good day at their best. 10 out of 10 health is an easy solution thus. James kept looking at Arnaud, based on personality types, the impatience, the exhaustion, the audaciousness, and his culture. 3, 2, and 1 gentlemen. They swept it charmingly, but the group decided not to think. They coughed, all 3 of them, like in different directions, mostly. Man, that is dry. I feel unsure of every thought. I feel like I've been medicated by a butcher. When will this pass? Soon enough, the barman said the word technically, compassionate like a rock, merciful like an executioner. The next drink was a propane wallbanger or slappy eel, orange juice and vodka. There seemed to be a villainous place. There were literally villains, green and black graffiti, almost black club lightning. A demon, 200 kilograms, and able to talk about nothing chivalrous. Normal were fighting an orc, the orc facing him up like a tiger. In one unforgettable move, he pushed him out the window. What can I get you sour, gents? We're bar crawling. Jimmy's bar crawl, the bar crawl. What makes you think I will help you on Jimmy's hither or thither? Because we're bar crawling, I don't expect us to have any resistance buying the drinks. What makes you think it will be easy? He smeared the words. I am a slayer of every foe and harbinger of fire. Our succubus is straight from hell and can trick everyone here. I imagine wrecking havoc is actually...
You know, here's an interesting opinion. When I heard that people in gaming companies and different places or master the privilege wheel. You know this one. Oh, it is so terrible. They need to like this. They have to study this agenda and make games based on. And I thought, no, this is fantastic. Everybody just study the privilege wheel. This is actually good, right? That's privilege. What? The difference between power and marginalized oppressed is a combination of these things. Usually, if everybody understood this, that would be it's a kind of bold realization, right, about society. You understand that I'm having it very easy sometimes, or I'm very, very, very hard sometimes. Take an example here. Married couple, single. That's pretty interesting. We have skin color, we have socioeconomic, we have disability, able-bodied, we have age, elderly youth, body size, sexuality. I suppose the homosexual is better than being bi or pan or whatever, right? And you shouldn't be offended. It's stupid to be offended and thinking like, what, you mentioned something like homosexual. No, that's not it. You need to think a little bit deeper than that, right? I have it very easy because I'm a white male sometimes. I have to say that. You should be allowed to say that. Sometimes I feel like I'm just skimming on a golden silver plate, right? Sometimes I have it very hard because I'm autistic, you know? I receive, for example, all these tantalizing, advanced insults. They really try to hurt me because I'm not straight, right? It's one example, and I could really care more. Oh, how do you say it? I should really care less, but they're really trying, you know. So, well, some things can be pretty. I like this haul. It's pretty nice. You see, I already had every item already, but 7 more jellies. Ah, okay. Yeah, okay then. We don't live in a fair world. How you're born really matters, you know. If you're in an accident, I guess you can be handicapped and won't be the same. So everything is an example like that. Yeah.
I am a slayer of every foe and harbinger of fire. Our succubus is straight from hell and can trick everyone here. I imagine wreaking havoc is actually unwanted by my prowess. Well, there is a reasonable amount for every brawl. Fine, I'll give you the coughing propane remedy. They grabbed 3 orange drinks with happy orange slices. Oh, it's sweetened with something, said Arnaud. Maybe propane is sweet, said James. Arnaud choked on his propane.
Nice safe spot, bro.
If there's something I want to chat about, said the barman. It's made
Maybe
from
that
a
was too
special
mean.
dark
We'll see what he
wizard
says.
propane, really,
That depends what
fed
he
to their
says.
trolls and gardeners. Their followers are weak and shake in nervousness. It's very gassy and will make your stomach twist. Lit your farts on fire is recommended. Will smell like cumin. There's no propane except that farts we light on fire, said James wisely. He gave them a dark red dwarven lighter that said, "One day sober, one day evil."
That's better.
All animals think farts and falling over is funny. Getting hurt is universally funny. They feel irony.
I don't know why I'm helping him. Just
Have you seen
comes
penguins
naturally
falling over the
to
ice?
comment.
We know seagulls and parrots laugh. Parrots laugh at you, Arnaud. I could never imagine, said Sabrina. I had a parrot that was offensive.
Yeah, some things you can study in theory, but you can never imagine how hard it is to be from a sort of oppressed position. Sometimes. a whole different world. You know, they never, no matter how you try, you can never reach the same things. You know, and it's fine to say too. It's supposed to make you think. Yeah, it's fine to say, Chad. You must be allowed to discuss these things to fight oppression. You must be able to discuss. Yeah, there's a quote. Just targets describes how fine it is. I have it in my
I had a
Facebook.
parrot that was offensive against the French. I had to throw him out.
You must be able to discuss color in order to fight racism.
I had a parrot that was offensive against the French. I had to throw him out. I think a water buffalo would more laugh on the inside. They can submerge for up to 5 minutes, just like me. Maybe you are related to bison. Maybe you are related to bison. They went to a Mexican restaurant/bar Enrique's enclosure. It was really elevated on a cliff, with a giant garden of produce being 7 squares.
This guy gonna say bro again. This is the hardest place
You are
to
not one of those
stick
rowdy,
to
penniless
it, right?
problems, said Enrique. He was
Hydrangea.
taking orders in a brownie apron. Short
70
hair
to
like a
90
helmet
around
and
there, right?
mustache-heavy goatee.
But higher than
An
9.
enchilada was thrown over them 1 meter and hit a
Maybe I
servitor.
can see.
She was weak to this kind of projectile and
It's an
power,
instance.
and being upset she got
Or
weakened
like
too.
instance.
I'm a pirate as far as I'm a mercenary.
I think stupidity, something I keep thinking about, I think stupidity has a part in this because this stuff I'm talking about is kind of like theoretical, right? If you don't have a mind that can allow theories like this, it's kind of hard for you to think in these tolerant ways, right? I'm not saying the child is stupid, I'm just saying that there's many stupid people in the opposite end, right? Keeping things about themselves.
I'm a pirate as far as I'm a mercenary. I keep the French vineyards clean. Just be proud over being a pirate, said Arnaud. I drink alcohol spiced like a desert. We have a special today where you have the Big Four commercial Mexican food, empanada, enchilada, burrito, quesadilla, for being upset about the spirited and drunk pirates being aggressive too considerably. He seemed fine with them being pirates. You really put the ek in empanada.
Can I say one thing more? It's just pretty interesting. Because I don't feel like I have time to say this. Whatever, long.
You really put the ek in empanada.
What?
What? I have heard Swedish people eat tacos every Friday, but they are chained to the cheap seller, Santa Maria. The burrito will not have cheese. Stop asking this is why we have the quesadilla. I want my quesadilla with green pesto and no meat, please.
More hell.
Can I double my order?
Really?
We think in this way, towering spice connoisseur. We also had a fancy Mexican legend.
It's pretty good.
Raul
Though.
Cruz come over thus. Not just a legend in the Coffee Bean Islands.
The Bean
Thought
Islands.
to deep fry grasshoppers taco and cover them in gold. It is flimsy. Thin gold doesn't cost more than Pico de Gallo family platter with churros. It will be earthy. I will try this. If possibly earthier, then maybe you need to add turmeric. We will need to mix the turmeric with something like cinnamon then. I will eat the grasshoppers, even if they are terrible, says Arnaud. That doesn't make any sense, Sabrina thought. I want a large Pico de Gallo, said James, correctly being pretty much a parrot behind the ears, more auditive than visual and a chill plate. We deep fry the churros with lemons and cilantro, a deep frying fried technique that works on churros. If you gentlemen like spice and culinary mixes between cosmopolitan and tradition, I recommend the chicken mole. I will eat like a beast in hell, Sabrina said sadly. I don't see the problem, said Arnaud, hitting on her technically as he was jealous of every woman eventually.
Oh, I have it. I can
In
keep
Italia,
drinking
they are
these
like, it must taste
blighted
perfect, but you must change nothing.
super
James said a bit mocking.
restaurants.
This is not the way culinary.
Look at the
The
person, this
French
prayer
palate and
potion.
Italian are the most sensitive, even
Ah,
to
it's not
spice.
in the
What do you
weather. Well,
say,
I can
restaurant owner?
teleport. I can teleport to the fucking to the bank in the middle of the wilderness there. The enclosure, baguette's enclosure, and drink it. Teleport there for free, drink, and now we leave the safe zone. I'm not gonna do that, but you could do it.
The French palate and Italian are the most sensitive, even to spice. What do you say, restaurant owner? Oui, he said. We will also order as drinks Jarritos margaritas like watermelon agua fresca. That's why we're here. The man didn't
Agua
flinch.
fresca, made for people who
They
don't
had a
drink
coat
alcohol.
hanger to the roof with fashionable
Should be
giant
tasty.
wizard hats, starred with corn tortillas. Considering they were going to drink, this fitted perfectly. They also ordered the dirty taco, which was contemporary greasy pork or halloumi with pickled red onion, crumbly peanuts, and differently flavored dough-covered corn.
I don't know what to add.
When
Bring for
Enrique
food
came
here.
back, they asked him, "Is there a place for the wheat tortilla? Is there only traditional corn tortillas?" The wheat tortilla is brilliant. Great, we serve both. What about even different flour tortillas, buckwheat, teff, quinoa, oatmeal? You have a fat mind, Pirate James. What if the ingredients doesn't fit the Odi tortilla? Then you should change one ingredient. Obviously, oatmeal should work with different flavors, like a pancake taco.
Well, they have
They
it in
ate like it was a
Japan
food
actually.
challenge. James was burning through food like a giant, bottomless. The others analyzed him and picked up his behavior, trying to feel like an oven. They had a huge pint of margarita and enjoyed another kind of sugar, Weber agave, fermented into alcohol. This is a lot, said Arnaud, analyzing as audaciously as he is logical. Square sometimes, sometimes round. I feel heavy like a boat that will not adjust to the sea. The sea is over the sky and falling over me as I try to wish it away. Sabrina was the one pushing the furthest, her no-fat body completely lost. She was joking and thought everything was funny, pretending she was content drinking wine. I love Mexican food, she said. I could eat this every day. If you are content, you can have a shot of tequila made from a more difficult agave plant that grows here. Might be from the agave family. On the house, thus we celebrate. There were many pirates drinking margaritas and watermelon heat soakers. What are you celebrating? They said, teeth and toes curled like goblins. James just said, I'm becoming a penniless pirate going out of business. Very well then, there were not many right answers to these questions, yet easily unbothered. As a penniless man, and wholly I can tell you another story, I was talking about the extension of the sea into the flat dimension of the coffee plane, or plains if you will. William Echelon said he'd sail around the edges, even if it'll take him all eternity. We haven't seen him since. How far did he noticeably get?
I wrote this
He
was
well
easy.
stocked up and prepared the
Wasn't even that hard.
waterfalls of ever far and flourish, golden waterfalls and caves of eternal formations, so vast even if you break everything along the way, stalagmites, cracks, and geodes, there will be unaccessible landscape. There's people who live there in fields of golden green and perplexing black sooty bark, thus they export before the entrance. The farthest gate the ship had a spyglass like a cannon. Segmented in shiny brass, you could haul it on your shoulders on an arc, and with a hand-sized will zoom in. They could avoid any ship and cannon for it. On the track list, see, they are recurring things, skull islands, pelican ibis bird, and things with small variety. Teleports back and forth a bit, encounters with totems, idols, and heads, both helpful on average.
Yeah, I need to go
Ponds
over.
of drinkable water you can boil, yet they slow down the ship with barnacles with fins, sliding puzzles into caves with singular
It's
increasing
time to
treasure,
go to the
giant chess
bathroom.
sets against halberd aquatic
At
orcs.
least
They will be silent as you ask of your purpose. He already sailed beyond the trackless seas. The way is through spiritual visions, and stars are a changing puzzle. When the seas are familiar yet copied, when nothing is changing, aren't you sailing for eternity? Living large at the edge of the map. The sunset on the edge of the map is different. Things are relative. There's a 1M empanada we make, some parts filled with hamburgers, chicken, said the servitor. Perfectly cooked. We're used to making giant foods. They were drunk, but they decided on this decision wisely. I want a 1M taco, said Araned, being assessed in irrationality. That would be a mess, said Sabrina, being concerned with being proper after being compromising. For her, there was gray instead of black and white ways of doing things, but she had to point things out when they were improper. Like an endless correction without deeper thinking, halls of gray turning into black and white. There was a giant empanada, like a ravioli slammed on the table like a deer. There were funny edges that looked flimsy. They had a feast. James knew things would go down, eventually focusing on his hunger, on the flavor like it would stop. Swedish blue-collared bar emerged after being shipped like rum through merchant waters. There was a passage through a jungle island where they loomed, skimming like alligators, worrying about alligators. Thick the air was with like decomposition, oxygen, dirt, and wet smells. There were spider nets 5 meters across the waters and 2 meters up. The tiger-catching spider they were called. I feel sad destroying the net. Must have worked a long time on this. Their appetite is not the same as their medium giant size. They reused the net too. It emerged like an IKEA, shining of relief and promise. It was clean, white and gray like an office landscape. Everyone was wearing shirts and jeans. They had stout Swanglish, though they were maybe a smart half of them lacked better English, like buffaloes. What is your national dish, Mentalgen? It is actually mashed potatoes, meatballs, gravy, fairly tasty. You must have sourberry jam, so it is sickly sweet. Could I have less sugar jam? Shut up, James. Yes, shut up, James, said the Swanglish square. Why should we buy your dish if it is only fairly tasty? This is not a diner of apes and Swedish bobcats. I should have used better words. I was being modest. Nobody thinks they're anything unless really arrogant stuff. That's the Swedish goal, isn't it? To be so talented and great, you can think you are greater than the eternal average. We have plenty of elevated dishes. The meatballs are made from deer, moose, and pork. The gravy is rich from hare and goose liver, pieces, balls of goose. The berry jam has red wine. Which kind? Swedish Rondo, Pinot Novo. Sven has gotten an incredible leg up his bitter peers. He can pull anything out of his cornucopia, but it's never anything you need. 7 days old new paper. Amazing. Tickets to a Limp Bizkit concert. This is useless. A too late comeback. A puzzle of a cat taking a shit. What are your bar crawl drinks? It is a mix of the best Swedish stuff. Some things are interesting, like quinoa pancakes, like punch, snaps, sweet mulled glühwein wine, and spiced spirits. And some stuff no one knows why we drink. You expect your midsummer solstice friend to bring the good stuff. But they really don't, blind and deaf. Maybe snaps is a herring of the alcohols. It is important to question everything, unless it gets silly. We British people are always conscious when things turn silly. Silly walks, silly grandeur. If someone gives me aquavit, I will drink. Then maybe I will be a philosopher. They had 4 things to drink, each unique, high-spirited. It was spicy but mostly alcoholic. James didn't really understand this culture. The classics didn't give him any directions. Tell me about Swedish traditions.
Cheese.
For winter, we used to eat meat, mixed kind of like beef Wellington. Really nasty stuff like meatloaf all in taste. We discounted that. Christmas is materialistic with beautiful, loving gifts from parents. We weren't too religious anyway. Culture can be brilliant, even without religious pass-through.
Oh no, a bit out apart my mustache.
Obviously. The islands are religious through secret mothers worshipping sexy statues. Instead, we eat fish like herring and potatoes. For spring, we have herring and potatoes. And for midsummer snaps, like the Germans, herring and potatoes. This is getting silly, said Arnaud. Forsooth, I will not have it. I am really upset about Simon Cowell. The twat. This is getting very silly. Everyone started making being high energy and shared silly faces, making impressions of confident stupidity, singing the TWAT. If this turns any sillier, you'll have to be turned into a flounder and fired from a cannon. Thank God for American and Mexican food, so my kid says too, said the Swedish. Oh, we have Swedish haggis too, it's called pulsa. It's your likable, honest innards spiced with fried egg and potatoes. I love the mashed potato part of haggis. I make a vegan version. Remember me, silly man, as you eat this delicacy, I want a bucket. We could do a food challenge. Who is fastest to eat a bucket of mashed potatoes? With haggis thus, Englishmen. We have even better Swedish cuisine on the penniless lands. Don't forget the desserts, by them thus. They're maximized in reviews. How cold does it get in Sweden? Surely we can have a pleasant conversation about this. Stupid Canadians think they have it colder and rougher just because of some places reaching the Arctic where noon lives. We have elk too, call it moose, and they eat tundra, every pine cone like an ant. I guess this is true. There is relevance. You seem like a relative man. Time is relative, and winter feels like forever. There is darkness because we are heated by streams. It is more north. I have never experienced a summer with constant sun. People go crazy without the sun appearing in winter, like cabin fever. I believe you. To answer your question, Sweden is very stretched, like from Germany to Italy, so it gets cold, and then it gets more cold. We always look at the northern Sweden and imagine the cold of minus 45 degrees Celsius. There is Westerbotten cheese. Correct, there is the northern cheese, which is delicacy in crumpets, pie and sticks. It is easily likable. 97% of people are a fan, is it not, like Appenzeller? Strong smell, crumbly texture, savory, salty, and nutty. It is between cheddar and Parmesan, but not quite. We have it in every dish, said Sven. No, but on pasta, potato, and ravioli. Everyone is a communist in northern Sweden. Sven is upset, but everyone votes left in the North university cities. Good for the left parties. There was a small place, French bar Duc de Coeur de Coeur on the penniless adventure. The French drink alcohol too, if you can imagine that. Look, they have giant frog legs from the frogs of New/Pirate Baltimore. Tastes like chicken. Delicious, let's eat some. Bartender, we would like your bar crawl drink. Gosh, how many times have I said this? You look like you're barely standing up. You need a different kind of alcohol then. Barely starboard, swaying of breast. I wonder how the women look like in breast. They look like your mom, said the barman. They got to drink a tonic wine that was made from different processes of grapes. It was sweet and confusing, remarkable yet boring. This doesn't make any sense to drink. What's the advantage of drinking a wine tonic? The advantage is a rich tradition. Not all alcohol has to taste good. James was appalled at this French, stubble-haired idiot. How could someone be so wrong? He said, also this is 30% alcohol wine, you would have noticed. Sabrina fell off her chair. Get back up in the chair. Sabrina got something between a panic attack and seizure, hurting her brain powered by nervousness and tics. This is a new French bar with food for the bowling and belligerent. Do you want some sandwiches? He asked like he was not working there. We have croque monsieur and a homemade warm baguette with homemade spicy sausage, tasting like boar. What is a croque monsieur? What's the sauce in them, the fatty stuff? It is a Dijon mustard sandwich with ham. You have never tasted Dijon fitting so perfectly. The boar sandwich is filled with mayonnaise, thus cranberry jam. Do you have a croque, madam? Said Sabrina, feeling like eating through her hollow, wretched grayness. It has a fried egg, said she quieter to them. If you want a full meal, the fullest thing we have anyway, you can have the meat book, Mon Cur. Mon Curry. You meant the meat boat, said Arnaud. Charcuterie meat board. Out came the expensive board of delicacy dried ham, the boar sausages, and salami, with 3 pickled fruit, vegetables. It was coughing expensive, but James could now buy these things like a freedom. He didn't really spend like nothing matters, harking presumptuousness over thinking, but he did invest. James invested in magical equipment and lessons, science, and the Napoleon caffeinated industries. He would use his brain to expand too, and it would help. Next up was a Spanish tapas bar. We should drink some water, gentlemen. They had an engraved water bottle like it was a fancy Italian restaurant. It tasted fancy yet watery, nothing sparkling or flavored. €4 for a jug of water. This is the only water we have. We only have the best. They got to the grog, which was Spanish red wine with lots of flavor, and shots chapitos with ojoro. 3 people they stand, swinging glasses like 3 units, bewildered, synchronized. That wasn't that bad so far. That was just normal. What's the catch here? It is 45% wine. You will be expected to wilter. We get most casualties from the bar crawl here. Arnaud squatted backwards and brought James with him. James fell down. Let's take a break from eating so we can thus eat more. They returned after 4 hours, eager to the quest or task, something you could tell yourself is stupid, but then you feel in the fray. They heard an Italian chef, critic of the islands, arguing. This is too rugged and out of mind. You can't serve with clam juice in anything. I don't want to do the same thing as every other chef. You should make tasty food when you disparage and break free. The Parmigiano Reggiano crust and salto mi dish was perfect through. You get something you don't see in the islands anymore. Change nothing. In Italy, everyone feels at home. Give me your worst drink, chef. Our worst drink. They were already offended. Sir, we are in honest pirate bar crawls. Although not completely in intelligence, the critic was ready to share his enthusiasm, pulling them into the culture with something like limited manners. We all must all eat to survive. As humans, our culture makes it tasty. There is eating for survival and phantasmal fun. Do you think my sensitive palate is too weak for French food? I'm British, though I'm working with the French. Can you really give up your colors here?
Gingerbread.
I just thought of work, ready to give my service to anyone. There are things we do through borders. I am a big fan of your man, Leonardo da Vinci. Who? He must not have been born yet, said Sabrina. Everyone appreciates someone who can cook, just like we did prehistoric. The prestige of food has increased through a bullet for a mistake. There is prestige in cooking, said the Italian critic. Ravioli is a perfect food and varied, said James. I agree, said Arnaud. Arnaud ordered mushroom ricotta ravioli with walnuts for everyone. They had a Bellini, a simple peach puree prosecco required. Here's a touching story. Would you be interested in going off the maps, said the Italian pirate? Only if you don't criticize me. You're an idiot, said the Italian. An idiot does as an idiot didn't did. What they ought to do, I mean. Chapter: The Patient, the Doctor, and the Medical License. Here's a discount on the penniless pirate chiropractor. You get that for buying our menu these days. He also invests in pointless cannons. Chiropractors aren't real. They use passing muscle relaxation to make you think it's real. They just twist and turn your skeleton until it sounds. No, that's folly. Of course, there can be locked muscle to skeletons and terrible posture. It's €80. Sabrina started coughing like James had been talking to himself. They came into a place that was peaceful between redwood and imposing oak. An insane chiropractor used a spell aiding the neck adventures. The best way to unscrew your neck from the segmented spiders and hamster sickness is spinning. His head was slapped and started spinning, every a lap, every second, and sounded like a nutcracker winding up. Anyways, that's how I lost my medical license. Master Orc. I have to this now. It's so less stimulating. He said it like they were having a lower conversation, yet invested. More clients, you're not versed in law, and rights are you? The pirate code of rights, the rights that never fail to a man. He chatted with the new entrants, kind of bothered they were existing. They had already been proper and nice once today. You have to stop at the right even amount of laps. He went and wrenched with a holding grip to his chest. It sounded like cracking. His neck was on at a strange angle, at 45 degrees east and back. He walked out, hitting the doorframe with his head. He's going to be fine eventually, right? Said James. What do you mean? Said the chiropractor. What do you mean? Said Arnaud. Wow, you are real help, said James. What? Do you want me to steal his wallet? If you steal my wallet, I'm going to do mystery practice to your neck. I won't let you into the dangerous position. I also get rid of unhelpful spirits. How? By targeting the spirit with the nail in the eye. I knew it, said Sabrina, we're out of here. Snort. I wanted to be pampered. James was sad. We can get you a deep tissue massage for bodybuilders. In the bar crawl, they should struggle with drinking more. They used giant goats to travel up the plateau to reach Executioner's Block. James had fulfilled part of his dream to make James' Gym an extraordinary food. Worked 4 of his hours per day that turned into 9 total. A gym that sold super healthy food and protein. It was a 5 out of 5 luxury gym with herb sauna, dwarven massage machines, huge locale with lots of magical. It was fairly easy treadmills outside in the sun with bodyweight workout, jungle gym that costed 10% of the entry fee, 20 quid for one time, 10 card for 140, and monthly for 160. He had a sign on the outside gym that said, if you don't make it heavier or faster, you won't get stronger. He called the different month and year plans for commitment strategies. He loved monologuing for people to keep consistent, be ambitious. With enough discipline and willpower, you can decide to make it every time, get going. If you decide you can only do 30 minutes, decide it there. He stood often at the smoothie table, machine at his back where people just wanted to have the protein for the taste. He had a sign, after you exercise, you run out of antioxidants. New brain cells will painfully be made unless you buy my smoothies. He had the healthy smoothie with dark leafy greens, blueberries, ginger, and raspberries for flavor. 30 grams of protein. Performance boost with nutritional yeast, black peppermint oil, and fenugreek, red beets. The best and cheapest quo pre-workout is coffee, said James, and sold branded coffee, his brand. Drink every 30 minutes. Talk to me about technique. Anti-inflammatory, which was turmeric, ginger, black cumin, and Indian long pepper with plenty of sweetness to flush it down. It was strange and aftertaste like someone had threatened you. Health boost, which was powdered amla and rhubarb, flax seeds, wheat germ. Gains, which was 60 grams of protein with oatmeal, mango, and dark chocolate. Contemporary gains, thus 100 grams of protein. Protein doesn't make things taste good. And if you want more protein, buy another 20% off. In the health corner, you could pick up 2 things with a membership. Vegan beef jerky, berries for sulforaphane people could buy Brussels sprouts covered in vegan cheese cubes, or vegan gorgonzola. He added 3 lines of text to some of these things like sulforaphane, the reason vegetarians live longer, heart health, cancer ass kicking, mental proliferation, and grows nervous system. Works as anti-poison. Even takes the edge off coffee. The second and best choice was broccoli sprouts and 3rd cauliflower steak, spiced like steak truly. He had a protein baguette with vegan soy steak, vegan chicken cubes, Philadelphia cheese steak, flavoring with spinach, vegan chili con carne with Parmesan. As it is a healthy cheese, 70% protein, low saturated fat. There was a steak salad eating challenge with the same corn they used for the pizza. There was the fiber magnesium bomb, which was 4 kinds of beans in a bowl pot, soy chorizo sausage, and mince for a vegan chili con carne. He had to convince people beans was actually the healthiest food, the ideal base food, with fiber gives you weight loss through gut bacteria and omega-3 to the brain. James thought it was price worth, absolutely a steal. He thought he gave health away for people. 18 quid. There were lots of sandwiches, really. He spent time buttering and splitting baguettes, but he did so with intention. He thought long about the salad, which he allowed eggs in a watermelon salad with toasted pumpkin seeds and watermelon seeds, purple salad being the healthiest. The antioxidant is the color. He didn't take the vegan burger of the menu because it sold brioche bake, meat bake, bacon barbecue, sauce spinach beef tomato. It was tall and handsome, dangerous, and sold two at a time instead of fries. He also had the vegan hot dog, which was just a cucumber in hot dog bread with ketchup and mustard. This tastes like Texas barbecue. I'm going to eat meat when I come home, but wifey is going to love I did this, said a traitor dwarf. Stay acceptable, said James. The gym was filled with beefy people. I buy this because you are bigger than me, introverts and extroverts with no time to talk, and old people who never stop talking part of their healthy routine. He had old men deadlifting 200 kilograms, looking scrawny. I used to do this in the military, and 75-year-old humorist, yet viable. I never lose my muscle as I keep training. I think science supports that. There were some muscle women that were 2.1 meters tall. A squad of Brazilians dressing with long haircuts and feminine clothes between muscle. The arm genetical specialist said, yes, mommy, as they put away their weights. There were certain loud, obnoxious people, and he really had to kick some people out. He thought it was a better place that way. To be so stupid and callous seemed hard, a combination of insecurity and dominance of ego. They seemed surprised people didn't hear what they said and was uncaring of orders. The other hours, a French guy Jermaine Napoleon had installed, worked for him. He didn't really seem unlazy sitting at the reception, which was golden and personal. But then he got a fire on that stress productive until James was convinced this is the right man after all. They had the infamous Arabian Hulk that worked out here, William Welk of the chocolate cake and leg specialist, the horse, Lou Ambigus. There was also Patty Lightweight, a feminist pirate. These people raked in followers on dwarven social media, papers, and personal stories they thus themselves published. The Arabian Hulk, which was also called turfing, was a man of perception and philosophy, but few words. He lifted easily barrels and crates of people. James had never seen such ease. Might have giantism. He had fat around his muscles and kept gulping pints of Gaines next to James. He read poetry and Shakespeare, but was really poor to communicate. James swore he'd get a no answer, contemporary theatric wavelength answer to everything. He wanted to show he was stronger than James sometimes. Or so he thought. Surely maybe he was. William Welk, also called Mr. Gold, was upset James didn't have a picture of him on the wall like Jim's usually did and had to pay. You're upsetting, said James. William won every gym competition, which they had in strength and posing. He was like a Greek column in art and muscle, beefy and round rather than aesthetic. His shoulders into chest and arms looked like there was steroid problems, like two short muscles. He had upsetting meat and fish milkshakes. Yes, this is inspired by Rule that tasted like fish soup. Only William thought it was fine if the smoothie tasted like fish soup. He was surprised there was something other than steak to eat and gobbled thusly. Never said a nasty word. He reasoned it was healthy to add to his protein diet. He came 2 hours a day, 2 times every day. Other bodybuilder wanted to know what he did and copied him. James had thought of a food box for him. Lentils turned brown with soy pieces and ground protein oats, which had 60% protein per 100 g of average. He also tried making bento boxes, but would have to practice keenly. There was another vegan bodybuilder, audacious and bold about every subject. Ideal for people who were already vegan, but he kept pissing people off, having debates in the gym, and James had to tell him, doesn't matter if I am vegan too, or even this gym is vegan dash. You can call it the green gym. You can have a greenhouse in here. You can't debate yourself into the uninterest and spirit of people. He was proud over his deadlift, squat, and bench press, and could really boast with being the strongest vegan. You should ban bacon. This might be a good idea, actually. They're not responding to my arguments. James had prepared bags for people with personalized wishes and protein treats. They liked him using the gym himself, but usually had questions that were not related to his performance. He answered disappointed and distracted a bit, but didn't show it. Lou Ambigus didn't have to work on his legs. They were already done. They won every leg competition, and leg part of the show, he had a narrow but muscular chest and shins that looked like a sculpture. What he had to do was work on his upper body, and it responded okay. He should have been more worried. The legs were great to look from at any angle. The calves were smaller than his legs, maybe. He was the nicest guy, really full of a certain energy and pulling people with his ambition, even more than James. James realized all these 4 people were ESFJ, yet very different ESFJ. There are ESFJs filling roles of philosophers, thoughtful spiritualists, and even nerds. They can be the epitome of something with enough whenever they push. James contemplated a logo. We think the earth is flat, but so are our abs. Many stupid logos were thought of, one bad one for every good one. James thought lions, reliability, falls off the chair, and decided on that. The concurring people had never heard of vegetarian protein powder, only whey. James introduced lentil and bean powder, but thought, why don't I just sell the whole beans as a powder? If you only get the protein, you don't get the fiber, healthy FBGF, 23 carbohydrates, magnesium, or antioxidants with the protein. He decided to sell it for the same price. Indeed, people drank the beans, superfood, and looked afflicted, but never complained about the flavor. Not so far. You won't build any muscle with that. Lightweight, he said to a skinny techniclifter. What do you mean lightweight? I can barely shoulder 10 kilograms. Let's put it on the scale, said James. James put the weight on the scale, and it went up to red lightweight. You got me there. It's a constant. I can consult the book of lightweight if you want. The book Lightweight, said someone eavesdropping. You have a copy? He held the book of lightweight like a hamster. I dare not question it. Forgive me, I was out of place. All these treasure maps keep pointing to Henry.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do now. I think I know what to do now. Basically, I'm just gonna clear this text area and put in the new one here. How many pages do I have now? It's very nice. 511. And I should contemplate the strain, and I should at least the pain. Let's play through this old flash game. Alright, YouTube. I'll play some music now. If you want to keep watching the stream, you can go to twitch.tv/Twitter Swedish Killer Rabbit, or I'm going to play an old flash game at the same time.